Hmm. Hmm. What is self-love to me? What is self-love? Posing that question to me. What is self-love to me? Oh, I love you. How is that possible that I love you? I mean, we're on screen. This is like screen time here. How is it possible? In my presence. I'm waiting for a judgment that would lead me to believe that you are less than that. And as I ponder that, I can't find anything valid. And now I'm thinking of my children and my grandchildren and my husband and my waiting. I see images of them in my head and I can see you, those images of you on my screen. My mind is open. I'm looking for error. Anything that this ego would define you as, anything less than beautiful. Waiting, nothing valid so far. I'm thinking of my son on our walk this morning. So far, flawless. So far, flawless, and I'm open to error. Okay, so how can I not see something beautiful? I name it that, and it's simply the absence of erroneous ideas the ego offers up that I would attach to. In other words, it would seem so valid in my head, I would believe it. Those of you new to the work today, what do we do here? We identify the thoughts that cause all the suffering in our lives. We identify them, we move them from our head to paper, and then we question them with an open mind. Who knows? That judgment could be true. I'm very open. Self-inquiry. Oh, medicine for a happy life. Judge your neighbor, write it down, ask for questions and turn it around. I say it so fast when it's just, you could just sit in one judgment for several days as you ponder. Just that one thing. Life isn't fair. Is it true? Yes, the ego would scream. Then it would offer up all the proof for me to notice as the ego fights for survival identity of I am, I know. He said that and he did this and he hurt my feelings. I know. That I know mine. Yikes. That belongs on paper. Could be right. But just in case, I'm going to move it from my head to paper. Ego offers up all the true proof. Okay, that's not proof I can touch, feel, taste, but it seems so real. Terry, you have a question, honey.
Thank you, Katie.
Hi, Terry.
Hi. My question is, it's not a judge your neighbor. It's just I don't know what to do. Our brother has just been moved to hospice, and the end looks inevitable, and it could be weeks or could be days. But I don't know what I don't know how to stand it, and Part of it is rage because I feel it's a result of malpractice. They misdiagnosed him, and then he had to go for an outside opinion. By that time the cancer had metastasized.
Yeah.
So and then bad treatment since. So a lot of it's I'm mad, but I'm also so
Terry,
sad.
I would judge the medical community, the part of the medical community that misjudged him. I would do a worksheet right
Yeah.
there,
Okay.
right there. And then I would, what else do you, you said you don't know what to do. And,
Well,
and as you were talking to me, and as I see you right now, you do know what to do. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're sitting, your head is nodding, your hands are like that, now they're like that. You do know what to do. And when you don't know what to do, notice you're being done. Like you didn't just think, oh, I think I'll do this with my mouth now and blow. It's just this amazing world. It's like, who are we without our judgments, just witnessing, I do know what to do. And when I don't, something does. Like you didn't just smile on purpose. You didn't just nod your head on purpose. You didn't just smile on purpose. There's something beautiful going on. Something beautiful going on at all times. You know, yeah, judge the medical community. Yeah, yeah.
it just hurts so bad. It just hurts so bad, and
Mm.
I don't know. Just be with that, or
Well, what I suggest is that you fill in a worksheet on the medical community, misjudging, misdiagnosing your brother, and then the cancer spread too far, by then too late, is what I'm hearing from you. And so if you fill in a worksheet on what you're thinking and believing about that portion of the medical community, those doctors or nurses or whomever, and or the hospital itself, up to you, because you know where your head's at there, and in those judgments, and then if you need a little help, any of you out there that are seasoned facilitators, you've really done your work, those worksheets and the 4 questions turnaround. You've really done your work. Then just kind of in the comments board that you've got there on the side, just volunteer to work with Terry, or Terry, you can put that call out there, and maybe someone will join you that is a seasoned facilitator, and maybe one that even has had close to the experience that you've had, and has can do a little of their own work along the way as they work with you. It's always that way. It's like, oh, you have a problem. Oh, I'm so free. I'll do the work with you. It's like, oops, that that turned out to be, do me a lot of good to sit in with you as your facilitator. So we grow together when we sit in self-inquiry together. Oh,
thank
sweetie. Oh, my goodness. When my mother was diagnosed with cancer, she was in so much pain. And my sister did not know what to do. And my mother did not know what to do. And they were trying to get a doctor to see her. And she was just in unbearable pain at night in that emergency room. And they could not get one doctor to see her. And they called me, and I made that trip. And she still hadn't been seen or admitted. I walked in, I found someone, and they knew. I can't explain. I just walked in, got a doctor immediately took her in there with that physician, and it was amazing. I mean, he diagnosed her right away, and it was just the story is falling short in my head. I'm trying to get a point across is just you do know what to do, and sometimes it's just you just cry. Sometimes you just cry and then fill in a worksheet, or cry and fill in a worksheet at the same time. I've done a few of those. Yes, sadness has a right to life. We cannot be sad. Sadness is what I myself am thinking and believing in any given situation. And those images in my head that happen, that show me those, that create the emotion of sadness in me. But, that's, as I speak to you of my mother, that's not my mother. That's my mother remembered. And when I think of that, by some grace, they I did know what to do. She needed a doctor. She was in pain, and that was a municipal hospital. I felt at home. Any hospital, if the door is open, I feel at home. There's no one in the world that doesn't want to help, but they have reasons. Oh, that would hold them back, fear. When I was in the hospital dying with my body shutting down, my heart, my lungs, my liver, everything shutting down, and they didn't know, they couldn't stop it. But oh, did I watch the care, 5 doctors just trying to stop the failing of what was going on. And I watched their concern and their collaboration and their frustration and their care. But I could say, they're doctors. Why don't they do something? They should know what that, dun, dun, dun. None of it, none of it, none of it. Let's say there were 5 of them and 1 of me. There were 5 of them. There were 1 person in that group that didn't have a problem with it. I did know what to do. I listened. I witnessed. I saw caring and frustration. And they were dealing with something that was impossible to stop in that situation. Another doctor could walk in and say, oh, no problem, it's this. But that wasn't the case.
Thank you.
Honey, if I died, the only problem with, my family would be what they're thinking and believing. So you take care of you. And this work will show you what to do and how to take care of you. So that you don't have to be, so that you can be there for your brother and you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. You're so brave. I'm so happy to meet you this morning.
Thank you.
Oh boy. Brandy Lynn.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Brandy Lynn.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. I've been following your work for many years, and this is
Good.
yeah.
Self-inquiry, enlightenment, just walking enlightenment, just that question, is it true, just can wake us up when our mind's open to it.
It's been life-saving for me this year. And I have a question for you. Whew. So my son, Caleb, died at 3 days old this year in April. And one of the most painful thoughts has been, if we went to the hospital sooner, he would still be alive. And I've questioned that thought so many times, and I know that it's most likely not true. And all of the doctors have told me that it's most likely not true. And when I let go of that thought, there's another painful thought that comes in, which is, I can't protect my future children. So it feels like there's protection in believing the thought that there's something I could have done.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to walk this path of trying for another child if I believe that there's nothing that I can do to protect them.
Well, you know, I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren, and there's nothing I can do to protect them either. So you're speaking as every parent. And most of us haven't had your experience, but many of us have. But you're living our nightmare, those of us that haven't experienced it. Yeah, so, oh, sweetheart, an entire worksheet on your future children. Where would you go with this? I don't even want to lead you. There's something you could have done.
Yes.
So your child, if you went to the hospital sooner, he'd be alive. Is it true? Can you be there now on your way to the hospital, be there now in that situation where the baby died 3 days old? Be there now. Be with the baby. Or were you with your baby when he died? Okay,
Yeah.
so be there now. Where are you? At home, in the hospital?
In the hospital, in the NICU.
In the what?
In the NICU, the neonatal, intensive care unit.
Okay, okay. So there's something, and the baby just died, and there it is, the horror of it. Your greatest fear. There's something you could have done to change it if you had only been there sooner. Is it true? If you had only been there sooner, there's something you could have done.
I can never know for sure.
Okay, so be there with the baby. The baby just died. Be there in that situation. There's something you could have done to have been there sooner. Notice how you react. Oh, sweetie, I can see it in my mind's eye. Notice how you react when you think that thought. And your baby has passed. Your little boy has passed. So be there now. Feel that love. Feel the love. Feel the love. Because that's what you're feeling. It's love, and it's so powerful. I'm telling you, it killed me. There's something you could have done to save your baby. Notice those images of the past when you think the thought, there's something I could have done. to save my son. Notice those images of the past, like not getting there sooner. And did you go back for something you forgot on the way to the hospital? Did you drive as quickly as you could have? Did you what? Notice all those images of the past as you're there with your son who's just passed. Now be there with your son. Notice how you react when you see those images. And then you see images of the future where you can't take your baby home. You'll never see your baby again once you give him up. See those images of the future in that situation in the hospital?
Yeah.
Now be there with your baby. Your baby's gone. Now be there without the thought, there's something I could have done. Now, sweetheart, don't miss the love of your life. Be there. My children don't have to live for me to be happy. My love, the love for your child doesn't end. So is that sadness or love you're experiencing? Get present. Look at the babe. Without the thought, there's something I could have done to save his life.
I think deep down, there's a part of me that feels like there's something wrong with me or I'm broken and that's why he died. And then I think that I shouldn't try to have more kids because I'll hurt them too. So it feels like it is love that's driving this belief because I just want to protect them.
So now you've gone way gone way away from the present inquiry, and everything you've just said, that can be a whole other inquiry, piece by piece by piece. Now let's finish this piece. There's something I could have done to save his life if I had only been here sooner.
I can't be certain that that's true.
You know, I'm there as though, in my mind's eye. What could I have done? It's a hospital. They're taking care of my child. They're not going to hand my child over to me when they're trying to save its life. There's something I could have done. Now be there now. There's nothing I could have done to save my child's life. Not if you'd gotten there sooner or not. Look at them. Your child's in distress.
It's possible, but how do I account for the doubt? I can never know what would have happened if we'd gone in sooner.
Well, you can know that when the baby's in critical condition, they're not going to hand him over to the mother.
I know, but I mean, if we'd
They're
gotten
responsible.
there sooner so that they could have tended to him sooner.
I'm in the car and I'm not in the car yet. I'm at home. Imagine me at home. And I forgot something. I went back in to get it. Or the light turned red and I should have run the red light. I should have gotten there sooner. Then I think as fast as I got there, I should have been faster. I'm meditating in that trip there, noticing. There's nothing I could have done to have been there sooner. When I consider reality, nothing, and my state of mind, even if I had to go back into the house and grab something like an identification card or something, whatever.
Well, we just thought everything was fine, so we waited.
Yeah, well, how dare you think everything's fine when you had every reason to think everything was fine? So what are you, psychic? So you're upset because you don't have psychic powers. I get it. So you're looking at the impossible, asking the impossible of yourself, and grieving that get in touch with the arrogance there.
Yeah.
I should have superpowers, and I should have known, and superpowers. Yeah, but that's pure ego. It's just, ooh, ooh.
Feels like I need to question my whole understanding of the universe and my illusion of control to let go of.
It's called sitting in these questions.
Yeah.
Don't change anything. Just meditate in. We thought everything was okay, and we thought everything was okay. You thought everything was okay. Okay, now I'm going to say something. I'm going to say a word, and do not give it a picture, okay? Banana. You saw a picture, and I asked you not to. And that's what was going on with you when you thought everything was okay. You had every valid reason to. But no, your ego is going, I should have known. I. It's that I is killing you. The ego is just taking you over. It's a trance. And the arrogance.
Yeah.
Arrogance. We thought everything was okay. Of course you did. You had no reason not to. But you should have known. Really? That's crazy. And that's your pain. Sanity doesn't suffer ever. We thought everything was okay. Okay. So is there anything that could have changed your mind other than a call from the hospital?
Well, eventually our mind did change, and that's when we went in.
There, right on time.
Yeah.
Right on time. That's how my world works. My thoughts come not too early, not too late, just when I need them. And I just find that just incredible. I don't have to like it. It's just how the mind works. Right on time. Egos struggle to exist as I am guilty. And that'll keep you identified for a while. You could like die at 100 years old going, my son died at 3 years old, 3 days old, and it's my fault. That'll keep your ego, that'll give your ego home until you enlighten it. And the ego is, I see my ego like that 3-day-old little angel of yours. I see you that way too, by the way. That little 3-year-old angel, he's not gonna ever die. He lives in you. So is that love you experience, or I think that's what mourning is. It's love, and it runs deep, and it's precious. If people ever ask, did you love your son? You can say, yep, and that hasn't changed.
And I know that when I believe that his life wasn't exactly how it was supposed to be, I take away his dignity, the dignity of his life, and also I stop being the kind of mom for him that I want to be. It's just hard to keep it alive, you know?
Well, it's in you. Every time your child appears, just, love your child. Those of us whose children are alive, we can't prove it. I have 3 children and these grandchildren, but, they're a state of mind. And I'm just assuming everything is okay in their world. I haven't heard differently, but what we can know about your baby is everything's okay in his world, other than he has 2 unhappy parents.
Yeah.
And you can take care of that and bring him home. He's home in you anyway. Just welcome him without being the teacher of sadness. I see my son walking with me this morning, and one of my sons, and we had this amazing walk, but right now that's just imagination. Just like yours. For all I know, a truck hit him on the way home. I just don't have the news yet, but I can tell you, I'll remember you, and I'll remember where my son is, whatever the news might be. Your son lives in you. He gave you his full life. Yeah. So nurture that. Yeah. And I'm willing to have other children. I look forward to having other children. The worst that can happen, you've already lived through.
Yeah.
Doing well. Doing well. And honey, don't expect yourself not to love your son all the days of your life. That was his full life, and that's parenting. Yeah, it's precious. Yeah. And like the banana, when you think of your son, you see your son in your mind's eye. That's all I've got of my 3 children.
Yeah.
And if you have the thought, I'll never see my son again, you just saw him.
Yeah.
Just like all the rest of us. For all we know, our sons are dead. So where's the sadness? Then we get the news, and then the images, the ego at work. Who am I without that? I had my my identity all locked in. And now who am I if I'm not the mother of this child? Who am I? The ego's going to do. So now it's just globbing onto a life of pain. So, honey, just mother your ego.
Okay.
That's the child that's got the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, honey. Thank you for your courage.
Thank you.
Boy, with an open mind like yours, it'll take you, oh boy, to some great parenting, but start with yourself first,
Mhm.
which you have. Can great start, honey. And thank you for being so courageous as to check in.
Mhm.
Yeah, find a facilitator and ask him to support you to fill in a worksheet, even though you get a little help from
Okay.
someone will hold you. Okay, honey.
Thank you.
Oh boy, yes. Oh, Gail, honey, you have a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet?
Yeah.
Hi, Gail. So your worksheet, and first, thank you for your courage to come online with for these worksheets. Those of you that are new to the work today, you're going to meet a lot of courageous people if you hang in with us on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Oh boy. I mean, just this morning, oh my gosh, I'm so moved. The courage. And Gail, honey, what is your number one? What did you fill in for number one on the worksheet? And what is the situation?
I wanted to tell you, I'm still getting over that because I lost two babies too. So it helped me.
Mm,
Healing.
they live in us, dead or alive. Same, same, same.
Yeah. And the
And
DNA, I mean, I read somewhere that also that, you always carry your baby's DNA, right? Because, yeah. So that was so helpful for me. So now
oh, so glad. I'm so glad.
I've got, I had 5 children, now I have 2. Um, so in the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, my son's married and now has 3 babies in a row. And I'm struggling with my daughter-in-law. And
So this is a worksheet on your daughter-in-law.
yeah,
Okay, so let's refer to her as her or she.
okay, she.
Uh-huh. So number one,
Um, I'm sad and hurt that she does not really want me to see the grandchildren.
okay. And the situation,
In the situation that I want to change.
no, the situation is she is not wanting you to see your grandchildren. It could be you've asked to come over to see the grandkids and she says, no, we're busy, or what is the situation?
Situation.
Where,
There's
where
so
she,
many. I'm going to take
and
one.
yeah, anchor on one, all of you. It's really important. You anchor on one.
So I drive 5.5 hours to go see the grandchildren, and she got get rid of the guest room, so I can't stay there at their house, and they live in an expensive city. And so when I come, like now the second one's also in daycare, but when I come up there, she keeps him in daycare, so I can't see him. Like I go up there and then and she doesn't pick him up to 5 and then 6 and then bedtime. And then, so I go drive 5.5 hours to be with my son and see the grandkids. Or if it's on a weekend, she'll take them away to go shopping or go do something. And I drive all this way to like try to bond with my grandkids. And it's just been,
Okay,
really
so
hard.
in that situation that you've just described, you've driven 5.5 hours to be with your grandkids, and there's no guest room for you.
You have to stay in a hotel or. Mhm.
And and what, you enter the door and your son's there, but your, um, but his wife, your daughter-in-law, has the children, has taken them away, and she's taken them out for the day. Is that close to,
Yeah. So I have minimum, I drive all that way and I don't maybe an hour or two over the weekend or, something like that.
okay, so I need a specific situation where she's not wanting you to see her grandchildren.
So like, I drove up for one of my grandson's second birthday in June. And I get there and she doesn't tell me hello. And she takes him out with the nanny to go buy a present. And I'm there, wasn't asked to go with them, so she's gone several hours and I come all this way to be with my grandson and
Okay, and she's aware of it. Okay, so that's the situation. So look at her. There you are. She knows you've driven all that way. You know it. There you are. There's your grandchild, and she's taking him away
to go buy a present.
to go buy. Okay, to go buy a birthday present. Is that what you said? Yeah.
With the nanny. Didn't ask me, but took the nanny.
Took the nanny, but didn't invite you. Okay. She doesn't want you to see your grandchildren. Be there now. They're walking out the door. You're uninvited. She doesn't want you to see your grandchildren. Is it true? All of you new to the work, the answer is in the situation. It will show you the answer. It will show you your daughter-in-law's attitude. It'll show you her movements. It'll show you how she prepared the nanny to go with. All of that. In your mind's eye, she doesn't want you to see your grandson. Is it true?
Yes.
Now notice they're all leaving you. Anchor there. You're not invited. Notice how you react when you think the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson.
Hurt.
Hurt. Now let's look at why you're hurt. Look at those images. Be there now. Look at those images of past and future running through your head as they leave. They just walk out. You're uninvited. They leave. Notice how you react when you think the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson.
Rejected, unwanted.
And notice the images of the past where you had this plan to be with your grandson. You had this plan of being with your grandson. So those were your images as you're making that drive and as she's walking out the door with your grandson and his nanny. So you see those images in your head. And then you see you just stuck in the house, no bedroom, no one to welcome you, no one. You just left. What else do you see? I imagine that's just,
Oh, I don't know. Our family were so close, and it's really
so be there now. I'm not hearing there's anyone there for you at all. And there you are in her home, and you're thinking the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson.
it's really horrible. It
Okay,
feels really crappy.
it does. Be there now. And notice. The rejection, those images of past, future. Notice how old they are when you go back into your life being rejected. Is it familiar?
Yeah. We're abandoned, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they've left. There you are. They've driven away. There you are. So make yourself at home as you drop the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson. Who would you be without the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson? So look around. Do you see a comfortable place to sit? Are you hungry? Or you want some tea? Make yourself at home. She didn't say leave my house.
Yeah.
She left you there. So now notice, without the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson. Just make yourself at home. Because you have a son there that if he's not there, he's coming home sooner or later. And so is your grandson. Just notice who you are without the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson. Without the thought. Now you might walk into your grandson's room and look at the toys and see what he's into. Open your mind, get fascinated. Look at his toys, look at his little bed or whatever the
books.
The books. Wow. Wow. She's doing something right, that mom that you think doesn't want you to see her grandson. So notice how much of your grandson you're taking in. If your grandson were there, there's more there to take in about him than there's a lot there you can take in as far as being with your grandson, knowing your grandson. You're being filled in. His life is filling in for you. You're looking at his world. Now go into the kitchen and see what his food is. Maybe you can discern, it's just imagination. You can see, oh, peaches. And maybe that's for your son, not your grandson, but just notice your grandson's life.
Yeah, she tries to be. I could see that she really tries very hard to be a good mother.
Well, is she? Look around the house in that respect. Look at the toys she allows him. Look at the food she's in the house. And who would you be without the thought she doesn't want me to see my grandson? Who would you be without the thought when she came home with the grandson and the nanny? You see what a good mother she is. You see what she provides. You see you have a lot to share with her and to thank her for, to admire about her.
Yeah, true.
And you may be the mother she's looking for, but no, not when you're believing she doesn't want me to see my grandson.
I just don't know how to change the energy around all
Oh,
that.
don't change it. She's just turning into someone that you admire and maybe love. She's taking care of your grandson. That's Look what she's doing for you. And she's doing it well. But when you're believing the thought she doesn't want me to see my grandson, your head is so full of I, that you can't see the mother. Well, I'm coming from experience here.
Wow, this has just been such a hard 3 years. You
Mm.
know, I've tried to work around it and work around it.
Oh, until you love her, your work's not done. My daughter-in-laws are my babies. They just adore my sons. That works for me. And my sons prefer them, and I love that for them. They're doing my work.
Yeah, no, I mean, my son loves her. So yeah,
Oh, that's
so
just
I'm so,
amazing.
yeah, I think I am so grateful for.
Okay, so let's stay with yes. So let's stay with, see, that's just something else. She's taking equally good care of your grandson, both of them. Your heart's desires, those two peeps. She's got you covered. Why do you have to be the one to be loved and admired? It's
Yeah,
she's doing it for you. She's just, oh gosh, the more my granddaughters love my sons, and the happier it makes me. I can't give them that.
yeah, I just want to have a relationship with my grandchildren.
Well, no, she's the mommy. She's the mommy. She's the key. And the way she sees you is how your grandchildren are going to see grandma. That's how it is.
Mhm. Well, it's been, I feel like I've lost a lot of ground there.
Well, when you're believing the thought, it's understandable as we look at it. She doesn't want me to see my grandson turned it around. She does. Just say those words and see where your mind goes. She does want me to see my grandson. He's all over that house. What he eats, what he plays with, how he sleeps. everything. She does want me to see my grandson. She left me in the house alone. So you want to see your grandson? Just close your eyes and walk the house. He's everywhere. You get to see his life.
So it's like if I switch this all around.
We don't have to switch it. Just step into some reality. She left you in the house. That says a lot for you.
So it's my energy projecting onto her about what I'm feeling
So
is
it's
what
not your energy, your thoughts. And then when you believe those thoughts, that creates the energy, the emotional you're experiencing. It's not her creating it. It's what you're thinking and believing in that ego of yours into past and future, past and future. And the victimhood, notice how you treat your son when you're believing the thought. She doesn't want me to see my grandson.
it's just been so many times. Like, so many times that she does
Yeah, though that she does that or you do that
that
with
she
your
takes
son.
him away when I'm there, or takes or has things where so I can't like spend time with my grandchildren, like just go play with them.
Mhm.
Like they're, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like so many times I'm like, how do I
I hear what you want and I hear what the mother wants. I mean, I'm not hearing it from her, but I'm hearing of her from you. She doesn't want me to see my grandson. She does want me to see my grandson. She left him all over the house for you. She took his body, but how he's being raised and what that's like is all over the house. Okay.
they just had another baby and I haven't been allowed to see her yet.
Mm.
You know,
I just saw
want
her
to do this
in my
worksheet
mind's
so
eye.
I want to do this worksheet and really
Gail,
get a handle.
Gail, I just saw her in her mother's arms in my mind's eye. And so did you, as you were just saying what you said. She doesn't want me to see my grandson. How do you treat your son when you believe that thought? When he speaks of his wife or you speak of her? Notice your attitude. Notice your any words.
Afraid.
Notice.
You know, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. I'm really afraid.
So there goes the relationship with your son. You're
No,
just
it's
this
hard.
fearful mother, this fearful mother.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, who would you be talking to your son without the thought, his wife doesn't want me to see my grandson? Drop it and connect with your son. When you drop that thought, you're dropping the grudge if you're really dropping the thought. Who would you be talking to your son without the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson?
He would, yeah, so much better. He would be so much better. I would be so much better. Oh my God, it's just been hard. It's like this big.
No, just keep it. Oh my gosh, that would just keep. Look at the difference. It's major.
Yeah.
Because any grudge you hold when you're believing the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson, when you're talking to your son, affects the way he sees you.
Yeah.
And that, if your daughter-in-law is complaining about you, he has that.
Yeah.
And he can see why she would have a problem with you. When you notice how you talk about his wife, when you think the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson. And Gail, it puts him in a position where he has to choose when he's with you.
Yeah.
And he has to choose when he's with her.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, that's all on you.
Yeah.
And your innocence when you're believing the thought, she doesn't want me to see my grandson. She doesn't want me to see my grandson. Let's turn this around. Just try it on. I don't want to see my grandson. So now you've walked in the house, look around, you're free. Do you really need to see your grandson when you look at how he's fed, how he's taken care of, his toys, his interests, his bed, his little covers? That's amazing she'd leave you in the house like that. That says a lot for her and a lot for you that you'd stay. With really wanting to see your grandson, and when you can't see his body, to see your grandson, he's all over the house. She doesn't want me to see my grandson. She does want me to see my grandson. She left everything out for you. And Gail, she left you in her home. And she knows what you think of her. It flows over from how you are when you're with your son in regards to her. And all of you, it could just be when he mentions the wife in this situation that we give him the look or something to, I mean, it can just be so subtle. What we think about the people they're married with when we're believing thoughts like, she doesn't want me to see my grandson. She doesn't want me to see my grandson. I wonder if she's complaining about you and how your husband is having to choose. Or defend you in some way.
They're a pretty strong we.
And so's his mother. With the thought, I'm left out of my my granddaughters, I mean, my, what is it? My daughter-in-law's family with the thought she doesn't want me to see my grandchildren, for example. She has barred that door. When I look at what I say and what I do when I'm talking to my son, and he has to choose when she's complaining about him, about me. Let's look at 2. Were you a wonderful mother to your mind?
Yeah, I thought I was.
Well,
I loved being a mother. I loved being a mother.
well, that's what she's up against, because that wonderful mother raised his wife's husband.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's tough.
And it's the same with the grandchildren. I praise their mother, and it's authentic. I mean, when you look at how you react when you believe the thought and how that flows over into the family unit through like your relationship with your son. Let's look at number 2. In that situation where they're walking out the door and you're thinking she doesn't want me to see my grandson, they're walking out the door, you're uninvited. What do you want her to think, say, feel, or do in that situation?
I mean, I want her to realize how important grandparents are for children.
So you want her to realize how important grandparents are to her children. Is it true? Now be there now in that situation. She's packing up your grandson. She's got the nanny. They're walking out the door. You want her to realize how important grandparents are for her children. Is it true?
They work for me.
Why would she trust you?
That's it.
It's a big question. Why would she trust you? Not to be the same with her children as you are with her husband.
Wow, that's a big. Gosh, Katie, that's a big one. That's a big one. It's coming from the ego. That's a big one.
And notice how you are with her and how you are with your son, and you want to influence him. When you're thinking the thought, I want her to realize how important grandparents are for her children. So you're thinking the thought, and they're walking out the door. You're uninvited. You're just left there after driving 5.5 hours to see your grandson. And notice you're standing there alone, I'm assuming, thinking, I want her to realize how important grandparents are for her children. And to her mind, she could be realizing how important grandparents are for her children. And leaving you behind. Now, I want me, let's turn it around. I want me to realize how important my children, her, that she is to me as a grandparent.
Say that again.
I want me to realize how important she is to my grandchildren, for my grandchildren.
Yeah.
I want me to realize how important she is to my grandchildren. And the less she trusts you, the more important it's going to feel to her to hold her position as
Yeah.
the primary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want me to realize how important granddaughters or daughter-in-laws are. I want me to realize how important daughter-in-laws are for my grandchildren. And you may walk around the house again just to look at the job she's doing.
Yeah, I am really grateful. I am really grateful about so many things.
But
I feel
your ego is just going to steal all of that from your head. It's going to override it with what we're looking at here on your worksheet. So let's look at number 3. Oh, first let's live on number 2. I want her to realize how important grandparents are for her children. I want me to realize how important parents are for my grandchildren. So rather than writing it down, just feel it. I want me to realize how important parents are for my grandchildren.
Yeah, I mean, my son's an amazing dad. God, he's awesome.
Yeah, and she's an amazing mom. But she is, she's her and you're you. I want you to realize how important my daughter-in-laws are for my grandchildren. Oh, I've got this very mature, one of my daughter-in-laws. She's really competent and really conscious, and her mothering is on some level very different than mine, and and I'm just going to say it. I see her as my baby. She's my baby, and she wouldn't even speak to me for years. She felt this competitive thing because my son thinks so much of me, and he compares. And no wonder, thanks to this work, she had an amazing mother too. But I got to mother her as well, and the mothering was very different, and I never saw myself as her mother. I love her. I did nothing more than just these worksheets.
And I mean, I want to love my daughter-in-law too. I want
There's
to.
so much to love about her. She's protecting her children from seeing you as anything less than beautiful. That may not be what's in her head, but
I want that, and I didn't.
if I criticize my granddaughter after all these years, she is so delicate. And if I criticized her, it even smelled like criticism, we'd be back to ground zero. She's that fragile, to my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. She lost her mother when she was 16. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, honey, love is so powerful. I remember when her mother was dying of cancer and hospice. Um, um, Suggested she go to a hospital, and because I guess there was time and she was in so much pain, but still had a long way to live, meaning weeks or months. And they didn't know what to do, and they asked me, or I never would have said it, but it was such a no-brainer for me. Put her in the living room. That's where all of you are, her grandchildren, you two, you just put her in the living room. And every time you walk by, whether you think she can hear you or not, I love you, Mom, I love you, Grandma, and everything, give her life, give her life. And it was the most amazing experience for them. And if I did not have that kind of connection with my baby, which is my daughter-in-law, I couldn't have, I wouldn't have privileges like that to be so close as to offer her mommy back when they were so frightened and scared they couldn't think of things like that. Let's look at 3. Oh, I want her to realize how important grandparents are for their children. I want me. Okay, so take this in, don't write it down. I want me to realize how important my stepdaughter is. No, stepdaughter, is that what it, my stepdaughter?
Daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law. I want me to realize how important my daughter-in-law is for my grandchildren. And what does that mean? Walk through the house. Look how important she is. She's running that household. And that's a big conversation that you can have with her. It's like, how do you do it? A baby and my son, and I'm just amazed at what you do here. And if you ever need any help, just let me know.
Well, I've offered. I have offered.
Yeah, well, that's very sweet, and her mind may be closed to it. Who knows? I want me to realize how important she is for my grandchildren and my son, and live that turnaround and watch her. Just watch her. She'll ignore you, and watch how she is with them. You get to witness. That's the opposite of compete. God, it's so simple to love. And it's so difficult to compete. And we do it with our voices and our tones and our smiles and our attitudes and the things we do with motive driven and all. But they'll show up in this work, honey, when you sit with it on the other side of our time together. Let's look at 3.
I put, she should ask me to participate in their lives.
Okay. Is it true? Now look back at how you are with your son around his wife. She should ask you to participate in her life. Is it true? Might she be a little wary of that, or?
Yeah, no, she shouldn't. Because it just shows up like a competition.
That's because you compete through your son. I don't, that ended with me. And, and, um, and, but it doesn't stop my sons from loving me, admiring me, and saying all these amazing things about me in front of their spouses. But their spouses agree because I've done this worksheet we're working on now.
God, I want to get there.
Worksheet after worksheet after worksheet, and sometimes it's not so easy. It's hard to look at ourselves. But if we want peace, that's the only place to look, because it's what we're thinking and believing that is the cause of our stress. It cannot ever be one of my daughter-in-laws.
Right.
And if I held that on my other daughter-in-law, I'd be missing, I mean, with both of them, I'd be missing the loves of my life. And the best of all is they take care of my sons. I mean, that's the best. I mean, I take those things like personally, they're doing it, I'm spared. So I can just love them and appreciate their wives and love them and their dogs. Their dogs are my dogs. They're, they're our grandchildren, honey. They're our grandchildren. But oh boy, getting through this work. That's why I call it the work. She should ask you to participate in her life. Is it true?
No.
Oh boy, I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something really beautiful.
Yeah. No. She doesn't trust me. She wouldn't want me to.
Yeah, she doesn't trust that you won't, again, speak of her to her children the way you speak of her to your son without maybe even downing her or anything. It's an attitude. It can be as simple as just an attitude toward your daughter-in-law when you're speaking to him.
Escalated and escalated. I was like, I keep backing off, but it doesn't help, it just.
Yeah, but backing off and having something to replace it with, like let's look at 3. She should ask me to participate in her life. How do you react when you believe that thought? And she's walking out the door and you're not invited. And she chooses the nanny over the grandma as far as backup support. So she should ask you to participate in her life. Is it true? All of you, when you're doing this work, look to yourselves. What have you said about her? What is your facial expression when her name's brought up? When someone says something, do you override it with some body language or something? People know our body language and our facial expressions. She should ask you to participate in her life. Is it true?
No, not like this.
And how do you react in that situation when you think that thought and they're leaving you behind?
Rejected.
And who would you be without the thought she should ask me to participate in her life?
Carrying all this unhappy load of wishing things were different. And wanting things to be different.
She should ask me to participate in her life turnaround. She should not ask me to participate in her life. So give me an example.
Like,
Why might she not want you to participate in her life when you look to yourself? An example of why she shouldn't ask you to participate in her life.
because somehow she feels threatened by me.
And specifically, why
Uh,
might she feel threatened?
because I think I have a lot more confidence about parenting and cooking and all that stuff than she does.
Okay, so yeah, you've raised children, and her husband admires you. She should ask me to participate in her life. She should not ask me to participate in her life. So why might that be the case?
I think because
Oh, look to yourself. Look to yourself.
why
Why,
that, that
when you look at the things you've said, the things you've done, the things that she, I don't know, that you are better at, and it shows, and there's some prideful there, maybe pridefulness, but she should not ask me to participate in her life. Number one, you're a great mother, according to your son.
yeah, I mean, he's a great dad. I know because he learned it from me. I think he's a great dad. He's a great dad, I feel like, oh, I did something right, right? He's a
So
wonderful.
she should not ask me to participate in her life.
Oh, because I think she feels very insecure around me.
Okay, an example.
I
Where
mean,
is it that you might, that maybe you have overridden her or come in with a better idea or overridden her? She should not ask me to participate in her life.
I think I'm more like assertive about, like, if child's having a tantrum or whatever, and like just changing the thing and going on to something else, and not going into the child's place of the tantrum, or cooking, or just coming up with a meal at the spur of the moment, or I don't need to plan and organize and whatever. I can just, like, okay, and I get things done, and I don't do it to make it. I do it because I'm only there like a weekend, and just to be like, we always, our meals are
Okay,
big.
now I'm hearing why she would. The question is, this turnaround, she should not ask me to participate in her life when she's walking out the door with your grandbaby that you've driven 5.5 hours to see.
Because she doesn't want me she wants to have that experience with her son of picking out a present without me there. That's her time with Eli, and then and I'm like, well, that's a beautiful thing, that that's a special thing that she planned, that she wanted to go do with him. And
So she should not ask you to participate in her life. So now it's making sense why she would.
yeah,
It's making sense. It's not about you at all. And she wants to do it without sharing credit with anyone. She wants to do it as its mother.
right, yeah. Yeah.
You know, don't let grown bodies fool you. We're all children. And when you think of your grandson and you think of her, don't be confused by bodies. You know, be as loving and as gentle and understanding with her as though she were that old, no older than your grandson.
Yeah. That's a lovely way of looking at it.
Oh, honey, well, you're a great mother. You're a great mother. And great mothers allow their children to do the work and show the mother. She's doing the work. She's all and leaving you in this together household, which is she could have said, you know, just uh, we'll be home in a couple of hours and come back then. But she left you in her home. After a 5.5 hour trip. Could be she even assumed you'd be too tired. It's a long drive. Let's look at 4. What do you need to be happy in that situation?
I put, I need her to understand that I am not her enemy.
Okay, is that true? That to be happy, would it make you happy if she understood you were not her enemy?
Yes.
And how do you react when you think the thought, and she's walking out the door, when you think the thought, I need her to understand I'm not her enemy? How do you react? What do you say? What do you do? They're leaving, and they're leaving you behind. How do you react? What do you say? What do you do? You're uninvited.
I think I said have a great time.
Okay, well, so notice, was there an attitude that went with it? Or a kind of victim's tone that went with it? Notice the personality that took over when you said have a great time and you're believing
Yeah, I was sad.
again. I need her to understand I'm not her enemy. Turned around, I need me to understand.
I'm not the enemy, or I am the enemy.
I need me to understand I'm not the enemy. You could try that on. Another one, I need me to understand that she is not my enemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if my son has a great idea and my daughter-in-law says, no, that's a terrible idea, and I jump in, he says, Mom, what do you think? And I jump in and say, oh, I think that's a great idea. Now it's war, 2 against 1. So who's losing? That would be me. There's some wisdom required there. My daughter-in-law said something, my son disagrees with her, and then my daughter-in-law says, what do you think? To me, it's just, it's like, I just, this is for you two. This isn't for me. This isn't for me. I just can't know. And it's the truth. I can't know their situation. As much as I love them both, I can't know their situation and what they go through from day to day. I don't live with them. Let's look at 5.
Mm. Okay. Make a list.
Mm-hmm. In that situation, my daughter-in-law is.
Oh my goodness. I put inconsiderate, unkind, hurtful, rude,
Mm-hmm.
ungrateful, mean, impolite, cold, disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. So my daughter-in-law in that situation was considerate. Keith, was I supposed to end at 10:30, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that situation, my thoughts about her were,
My thoughts in that situation.
where she's walking off without you, my thoughts about her were inconsiderate,
Unkind, hurtful, rude, cold, disrespectful,
ungrateful.
ungrateful.
She left you the whole house. That shows a lot of trust. So she was considerate. She left you in her home. She was unkind to around. She was kind. She didn't give you parameters to say you have to stay in this room till I get back. She left you the whole thing. Rude. She was polite. She went to buy a birthday present with her son and the nanny, knowing you're coming, that's company, a birthday's coming up, all of that. She was kind. She left you in her home. And these, I'm moving so quickly here, but these are for you to ponder later. This entire worksheet, your mind's more open to it now. She was grateful. The opposite of mean, she was kind. The opposite of cold, she was inviting. The opposite of disrespectful, she was respectful. Now, this is an exercise in stillness. It's a meditative process. To understand these turnarounds, anchor there in your mind's eye as you sit in this worksheet alone with yourself. We've just taken maybe an edge off of it. This worksheet is for you to sit in and be thorough in these turnarounds, because it will give you what I was given with your 2 amazing granddaughters, 2 incredible granddaughters. Daughter-in-laws. I keep calling them granddaughters because they're so precious. Let's look at 6.
Which
And that situation.
I don't want to feel rejected, unwelcome, and disrespected.
I'm willing to.
I'm willing to feel rejected, unwelcome, and disrespected.
Yes, because if you feel that way around your daughter-in-laws ever again, then you it's a worksheet, and I would rework this one. I would. Oh boy, would I ever! It's a good one. It's a good one. I look forward to. I look forward to feeling rejected, unwelcome, and disrespected. Yeah. Honey, thank you for your very open mind. Boy, good stuff today. Boy, our children, our in-laws, and our
And
baby.
I have to thank you because Juliana King, my daughter, has done stuff with you, and
Oh,
she's really led me along this path with you. So I've read all your books, and I listened to your podcast, and
honey.
I'm learning. It's going to get
Yeah, it takes an open mind. It really does. It blows our heads off, you know? It's it's like, okay, and just and then just find examples for each one of those in that situation. On number 5, I was in that situation. Okay, precious. Thank you, Gail. Thank you for being our teacher today. And oh boy, and thank you all for something beautiful. Thanks to our time together, on your contributions, on where our plan is to be here every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And thank you all today for something so